Hello everyone, I am Savannah Kepley and I am a middle school language arts teacher, and I am here to share with you my 3 favorite ways to get students to practice using text evidence. So I am here in my mobile office. My daughter takes dance and music lessons, so a lot of times I'm just sitting in the car, so I thought I would just pop on the camera and just kind of share some thoughts with you, some ideas that I use in my classroom that might be able to help you out. So, I don't know about you, but my students are okay, pretty good with giving what I call basic answers. They're like the one-word responses. Sometimes they even restate the question and then they give their what we call the basic answer. And I'm like, that is so great, but we need to back it up. Tell me why you think that. Like, it didn't just happen. Your answer didn't just come out of nowhere. So what happened in the text to make you think that? And so I have come up with 3 ways to really solidify students using quality text evidence. So here we go. Way number 1 is the first thing I do is I teach what text evidence is. I'm really big on all of my students having the same definitions and the same expectations for these vocabulary words. So by the time they get to middle school, they've had several years of the same standards, but I want everybody to be on the same page and understand my expectations. So I do a quick little mini lesson about text evidence. I show them the 3 different types of text evidence, where you have the direct quotations, the paraphrasing, and the summary. And then also I show them the in-text citations that they can use. So I give them sentence starters, like, for example, on page so-and-so, so-and-so said blank, and that kind of thing. So it really gets them comfortable and a little bit it's like a little segue, a little bridge, if you will, to help them learn how to use text evidence in their response and learn how to cite it correctly. In order to practice this, I use the song Believer by Imagine Dragons, and we listen to it and we have the lyrics there. And what I have them do is I have them explain how the speaker feels about pain, but in their explanation I make them do it 3 different times. One using a direct quote, one using a paraphrasing of the song, and one using a summary of the song. So they use those 3 different types to answer the question, so they can see how an answer might be different based on the type of quotation or text evidence that they're using. And after we do this as a class, I set up different stations around the room. I have 5 different songs that I set up around the room, and they do the same thing, except at each station I tell them what type of text evidence that I want them to use in order to answer the inference-based question. So your students need to have a pretty solid understanding of inferencing before they get to this, but if you've done the inferencing mini lesson, they should be good to go with using text evidence in order to answer the inference question. Okay, so once we're all on the same page of the types of text evidence that we can use and what it means to use text evidence and why we use text evidence, we move into a different activity. So this next activity is great if you have students who do not use text evidence consistently with their basic answer. So I use this to show students how everything fits together. I call it a response tower. So let's look at it. It looks like this, and it's just Legos right here, and it has each little part is like a sentence that they use. Each level of the response tower is a sentence that I expect in their response. So you put your students in groups, and with each group you give them the response tower, but you take it apart. So it looks like this. So what they do as they write each part of their response, so you give them a question, and as they answer it, they put their response tower together. So for example, when they restate the question and give the basic answer, they put these 2 together. And then after that, they have, at least in the method that I use, the RTQT method, which I'll link below also, they have to tell their thoughts. So they have to tell me why they thought that basic answer. And then of course, because your thoughts don't just happen, like it didn't just come out of nowhere, what they have to do is, let me put together, give me the text evidence. So this will be the 3rd sentence of their response. There's a little hair floating around, sorry. My hair gets everywhere. All right, and then after that, after they write their text evidence, they follow it up, because you can't just leave text evidence there, right? You have to show us why you selected that. What does that show me as a reader? Like, what is the purpose of it? So the last part of it is this, like, this shows, this demonstrates, something like that. So as they write each piece, they build their response tower. This is great for students who need hands-on, and doing it, building it as they write it, shows that each piece fits together, that they have to have this text evidence in order to build a strong response. I love doing this, especially when you're first starting out with these types of responses. It gets the students able to visualize what they need in order to build a great response. So this is the response tower, and I just got these knockoff Legos off Amazon. They're really not that expensive, and I printed the different parts of the response and taped them on there. There we go. And taped them on there. So I'll put the link in the Amazon Legos that I use. I don't think they're called Legos, they're called something else, but I'll put it in the description below. And then finally, for the third way that I practice using text evidence, this is a great activity to do if you have students who sometimes pick text evidence that really doesn't make sense. Like, it's not relevant, it doesn't support their answer, and I'm like, there could have been a better sentence or a better part of the text in order to support your answer. So what we do is we have a quote battle. I love this. It's so much fun. I put students in groups, and I give them the question, and then I give them the first part of the question. So I give them this part, the restate, the basic answer, and the tell your thoughts. So I write that out, and then what they have to do as a group is they have a little quote battle, and they have to find out, or they have to find what they think is the best quote to support my response. So they, as a group, dig through the text and find a great quote to support my response, and then they back it up. They show me why. This shows, this demonstrates, that kind of thing. So they have to back it up. So it's not just about finding the best text evidence, it's about also explaining it really well. So what I do is I give them the first part, I play some rocky theme music, like dun 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 dun. I think that's it. So I play that for them, and while that's playing, the groups are really diving into the text to really try to find that best text evidence in order to support the response. And then when the music stops, usually it's about 5 minutes, each group shares their text evidence and their explanation. And after they share, I determine, if you're into competition, this is great, I determine who is the winner of the quote battle. And then, like, I give them like a little trophy or something that I get on Amazon. I'll link those two below. They're really cheap plastic trophies that you can find on Amazon that kids love if you just pass them out as they do great things. It is so much fun. So if you have students that pick the same quote, what you're going to want to do is really listen to their explanations, why they picked that quote. What does it show us about the text? Or what does it show us about the characters? Or what does it show us about however it supports the answer? So you're going to have to be like picking, like really listening and picking out, so what explanations of the quotes support it the best. And the students really have fun with that. I think any time that you can put competition in your classroom is a great way to engage your students. So I hope these activities really got you thinking about some fun ways that you can start teaching your students how to use text evidence. What I've done for you below is I have linked the I think it's the text evidence mini lesson, and it comes with the activities, with the songs and the lyrics and the questions that you can use in your classroom. That is linked below. If you're an ELA Unlimited member, I have the quote battle resource on ELA Unlimited. If you're sitting there like, what is ELA Unlimited? It is like the best place for middle school language arts teachers. It's a resource hub where you can go look up what you're teaching, what standards and concepts you're teaching, and download resources to match that. So if you're teaching text evidence, you can get the mini lesson, you can get the activities to go with it, you can get the quote battle, and you can get all the other like posters and assessments and all that great stuff to go with it. I will have that linked below so you can check it out if you're interested. And that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, please let me know. And until next time, happy teaching. Bye.